What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about the top 5 short squeeze stocks that you need to add to your watch list going into this upcoming week. So I'm going to go over all the things you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with stock number 5, although not in any particular order, ticker is CMBM, sitting at $2.99. Over the last 1 year, it is up 130%, and then over the last 5 days, it is up 357%. So still doing fairly well, despite it kind of pulling back a little bit on Friday. There's a lot of good information here, such as market cap, so sitting at 84.4 million, volume, and so forth. In case you are curious, this is what they do. So this is the company profile. Communications equipment, 625 employees, based out of good old States in Illinois, I believe that is. But 29.55% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 3.75 million shares overall being shorted. Just on Friday alone, shorts increased 381,000 shares, so increased their overall position by 11.3%. So shorts are very, very reactive to the stock price. So in reality, that is exactly why it did kind of get dragged down a little bit on Friday. It's because shorts kind of stepped up their game for the most part. Cost to borrow average, though, is 374.11%. That is an annual rate, not a daily rate, but still fairly significant. Max being 473. Short score, higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening, is sitting at 79.7. And then through IBKR, it does indicate a lonely 10,000 shares is available. The reason why I bring that up is sometimes a stock with limited supply, you might see some buying coming from big players just to lend out. So might add some buying pressure behind the scenes. So this stock definitely meets my criteria. On a side note, if you are new to the channel, stocks that usually make this list are ones that have some good pre-existing momentum and shorts just being overextended. So again, add that one to your watch list. Moving on to the next stock. So this one kind of does break my mold of what I typically like to select, because Beyond Meat, over the last 5 days, it has consolidated a lot, down 17.05%. So this stock definitely did have momentum. It obviously has kind of lost a lot of that lately, but they do have their earnings coming up. So I wanted to kind of add this one only because of kind of what's happening behind the scenes with shorts, with them being very overextended. It is a very unique circumstance. So if they hit a home run on their actual earnings, then you could potentially see a squeeze. So right now it is sitting at 166 over the last 1 year, down 72.8%. And then, like I said, over the last 5 days, you've seen a certain level of consolidation. I don't believe this stock needs any introduction, but in case you are curious, this is a profile. So packaged foods and meats, 754 employees, founded in 2008, but 22.3% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 79.9 million shares overall being shorted. Shorts have been all over the place with this stock. So when this stock was roughly 65 cents, 50 cents around there, and it went all the way up to about 750 or whatever it was, you did have shorts just doubling, tripling, quadrupling down. So they have been extremely active lately. One thing to take note of, though, is on Friday, shorts did return about 6% of their overall position. So that works out to be 5.6 million shares. So shorts, clearly there's some hesitation leading into their upcoming earnings. So once again, if they hit a home run earnings and surprise Wall Street, you could definitely see a nice secondary surge. Short score 69.5 out of 100. And then through IBKR, it does indicate more than 10 million shares available. So most likely you won't be seeing any buying just for the purposes of lending out stock, because there's more than enough when it comes down to that. So add this one to your watch list. Moving on to the next one, QMMM. So this stock has been extremely hot over the last 1 year. It is up 1,774%, up almost about 20% just on Friday alone. Over the last 5 days, it is up 25.68%. So this stock definitely has a lot of good momentum. It is based out of Hong Kong, advertising, 28 employees, founded in 2022. But 10.17% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 4.14 million shares overall being shorted. Shorts have been very, very active lately. So they have started to really increase. It looks like roughly around, looks like May, the short interest was only 2%. So they've been extremely active lately, of course, trying to slow the progress of the stock price, but clearly didn't work out too well for them so far, at least. But short score 69.18, cost to borrow average is 19.15, so that's an annual rate again, so it's not too significant, but the max is 193.31. So there is one broker out there fairly heavy or charging a lot. There's roughly around 400,000 shares available, so potentially you could be seeing some buying going into this upcoming week. So this stock definitely is very, very hot, and so most likely there's going to be a little bit of a optimism, because I think the big thing for this week is going to be companies putting out their earnings, and we do have a lot of big speculative stocks that could really prompt kind of people's appetite for risk to increase. Thus, maybe you'll see this stock go for a very nice run. And again, shorts are very overextended as well. So add this one to your watch list. Moving on to the second, or the stock number, I guess 2. Ticker is CSIQ, so Canadian Solar, sitting at 2076. Did go up 15.72% alone on Friday. Over the last 1 year, it is up 45.79%. And then over the last roughly 5 days, up 37% and 61% over the last 1 month. So this stock definitely does have a lot of good momentum. At the same time, based on Seeking Alpha's quantitative data, it does actually show the valuation being A+. So even though it's ran up quite a lot, it is still appropriately priced. So again, just do your own due diligence and all the other fun jazz. So this is what they do on a side note. So semiconductors, 17,000 employees, founded in 2001. It is based out of good old Canada, in case you couldn't kind of tell based on the title. But 20.81% of the free floats being shorted, works to be 9.49 million shares overall being shorted. DTC sitting at 4.53 days, so that does really signal that shorts are very overextended. So DTC does factor in the average volume for this stock in comparison to number of shares being shorted. Short score 74.85, and shorts have really started to double down. So the short interest in August, so mid-August, was only 10.5%. So like I said, shorts have really doubled and tripled down on this stock. Through IBKR does indicate a lonely 400,000 shares available. And this is a good example of what I mean, how it jumps from about 70,000 to 400,000. A institution did buy in just for the purposes of lending out stock. So again, something just to keep in mind, that you might be seeing some buying going into this upcoming week, as big money will buy it just to lend out. Moving on to the last stock, you have ticker ERNA sitting at 188. Over the last 1 year, this stock definitely has not done that well. It is down 88.5%, but over the last 5 days, it is up 54.55%. So definitely starting to get more and more attention. And even though volume has dropped a little bit since that initial spike on the 29th and 30th, it still does really want to move higher. On a side note, this is what they do. So it is based out of the States, biotech, 6 employees, founded in 2018. But 18.04% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 569,000 shares. This is exactly what the market likes to kind of talk about and to squeeze. Very heavily shorted and a low float. So it does meet that criteria. Cost to borrow average is 365%, max being 434. Short score 81.15. And then ultimately you can kind of see from this chart, it kind of all moves together for the most part. But you can kind of see how shorts have just absolutely tried their very best lately to hit it with everything they can. And just to give you a good example, short interest was only about 0.57 on August the 25th. So this stock definitely need to add to your watch list. And there is only a measly 3,000 shares available to be shorted. So most likely this upcoming week you'll be seeing some buying from institutions just for the purposes of lending out stock. So add all these stocks to your watch list. Is there any other squeeze plays that you feel that could really move higher this week? And if so, throw some tickers in the description below. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily, day trades, numerous swing trades. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.